Good morning, musical mademoiselles. It's Monday. My name's Elizabeth, and I am your Monday host. Today's question is, what is my musical identity? I think a musical identity is as much about who you are now during current events as it is who you have been in the past. My musical identity has been something that is always evolving and is always something new and different, based on what mood I'm in or what's going on in my life. For example, I grew up in a classic rock household with heavy emphasis on musical theater. My mom is a high school teacher and she costumed all of the shows that her theater did for years before I was born to all the way up through my high school career. I grew up in the theater, sitting on the edge of the stage, playing with Hot Wheels cars and racing with my brother, or playing with dolls, or making costumes to the best of the ability of a 3-year-old. When I would play with those toys, I'd be listening to shows like You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and Mame, and Godspell, if any of you follow musical theater at all. And as I got older, I listened to shows like Brigadoon and Into the Woods, and it actually led to me being involved on the technical side in my high school's theater and my middle school's theater for shows like Grease and Big and Phantom of the Opera. And so musical theater has always been something I've turned to when I wasn't sure what I was doing or what mood I was in, because there was always a storyline that had exactly what I was feeling in it somewhere. Now, at the same time, my dad and mom both love classic rock, and we would go on long road trips to visit my grandparents as a kid. We would drive up to Michigan or over to Illinois, and we would have the radio station on and we'd play a game where it was the first one to get the song title, the artist, and if you could, what album it was off of first, and that person would get the point, and whoever was most correct would get the point for that round. We would never keep track, but it was that introduced my love of listening for specific sounds in music and being able to identify groups that I loved and that would just stick with me for the rest of my life. As soon as I hit 6th grade, I decided that I wanted to follow in my brother's footsteps and become a drummer. Well, a percussionist. So, along with playing drums, we play xylophone, bells, marimbas, cymbals, all of those crazy instruments, and we actually have the opportunity to be in both band and orchestra, if we want to. I was introduced to classical music in high school through our orchestra. I was in a great band program. I did marching band for all 4 years of high school. And classical music is something that whenever I have a down moment now, I kind of think back to those memories and playing with those people and all of the emotions that classical music can give you, whether it's when you're studying and you figure something out because you're listening to like a movie soundtrack that's really inspiring and you remember, oh, during this part of this song, I finally understood that concept, or something like that. Classical music just fills you with so many emotions that are positive and sad and happy, and yeah. I guess my musical identity really is just anytime I can get music to drive an emotion in me, whether it be positive or negative. I listen to it to make me feel better. I listen to it to remind me that there are worse things in the world, and it helps keep everything in perspective for me. So this week, everyone will be answering the same question of, what's your musical identity? I will see you next Monday.